too many of them, I know. I gotta get into a dermatologist. Aaron.
Okay. Perfect.
Here we go. 6:30, we'll call to order the city council meeting. It's 8/24/2026. Clerk, will you take roll?
Mr. Barr.
Present.
Ms. Larkin.
Present.
Mr. R. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Stevenson.
Here.
Mr. T. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Clark.
Here.
Mr. Kreider.
Here.
Mr. Rollins.
Present.
President Stoneburner.
Okay, we'll start with our invocation. Pastor Betty Yancey, the lead pastor at the gathering place.
All bow your heads in prayer. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight asking for your presence and guidance over this council as they make decisions that affect the city of Marion and the residents of the community. We thank you for their willingness to serve and ask you to give each one wisdom, understanding, patience, and discernment as they discuss and make decisions on the issues facing them. Bless and protect all who serve our community. Quoting James 1:5, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him. May everything accomplished here tonight bring honor to you and benefit those they serve. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a summary of proceedings as council had an opportunity to review the wishes of council. Mr. T. Smith.
On page 7, there is a correction. It's on the second paragraph. It says during the discussion, I think it should be the mayor rather than Councilman Dichtel raised the question about unintended consequences. And that was the only correction that I saw. So after that, I will make a motion to approve with corrections.
I have another correction on page 7, the fourth paragraph. Councilmember Barr, and it should be Lonnie Daniels. I can see with the hair how you could mix that up. Mr. Ralph Smith,
I'll second the motion.
with the corrections.
Yes.
You'll take roll?
Mr. Barr.
Yes.
Ms. Larkin.
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson.
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Clark.
Yes.
Mr. Kreider.
Yes.
Mr. Rollins.
Yes.
Okay. Old business, item 1, ordinance 2026-063, e-bikes MMC amendment, Title 3 amended. Clerk, will you read?
Ordinance amending Part 3 Traffic Code, Title 1 Administration, Enforcement and Penalties, and Title 9 Pedestrians, Bicycles, Motorcycles, and Snowmobiles, more specifically, Chapter 301 Definitions, and Chapter 373 Bicycles and Motorcycles of the Codified Ordinance of the City of Marion and declaring an emergency as amended.
Mr. Ralph Smith, this come out of your Legislation and Codes Committee.
Yes, it did. It came out of the Legislation and Codes with a 3-0 recommendation to adopt. Since then, it's had 3 first readings, been amended twice, and tonight would be the second reading unless somebody changes it.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yeah, I actually just wanted to make a suggested amendment to the entire council and see what everybody would think about it. Somewhere, maybe even after Section 8, could we possibly amend to clearly state that children under 16 can freely ride on the sidewalk or walkway without fear of fine or prosecution? And/or would anybody agree maybe we should add this ordinance shouldn't be applicable if you were under the age of 16? Would anybody support that? That's my question.
Mr. Stevenson?
I would support the second there of below the age of 16.
Okay. You think we should make it like a section 9 if we made an amendment?
I'd be all right with that, just to add clarity.
So are you guys both suggesting that nothing in this ordinance would apply to anyone under the age of 16?
I am.
Because I can't get behind that. Yeah, I can't get behind that.
Okay, well,
I think one of the concerns is we've got, 11 and 12-year-olds riding electric vehicles that are traveling in 30 miles an hour. In some cases, darting in and out of traffic. I think, I personally can't support blankets saying that nothing in this ordinance should apply to anyone under the age of 16. Certainly any of the helmet requirements that are in here should absolutely apply to anyone under the age of 16.
and I agree with that.
So I can't, I can't get behind the amendment.
Councilman Rollins, if I may, I'm trying to make it to where children who might have an e-bike who are under the age of 16 could still freely ride these on the sidewalk without any fear of getting in any trouble. That's my concern. So I'm just not sure that we should force the kids to ride them on the road.
Yeah, I think that's a key part of the legislation, though. I mean, it's incredibly dangerous for them to be on a vehicle moving that fast on a sidewalk, period.
Just a suggestion.
How you gonna catch them?
Please don't let them.
You have to wait, sir, until we ask for public comment, okay? I appreciate the input, but you gotta wait, there's a process to it. Mr. Stevenson, did you second that?
I
Motion.
was just raising support for the concept, so not a second.
I don't think Mr. Smith actually made a motion.
I did not.
Okay. So do we want to leave this at a second reading to continue discussion? Mr. Rollins?
Just have a question. I guess I would ask the law director, we've amended, I believe, at least twice. I think it's been amended at least once in committee, maybe twice in committee. You feel like we've got a pretty good product here?
I appreciate the question, Councilperson Rollins, and actually before council convened this evening, I had a short conference with one of the people that work at regional planning, and they go to conferences and they have their own experience. It was centered on an issue related to what was brought up in the middle of the table. And that is, we don't want to restrict people that may use these devices to go to work, or school-age children that are using them to get to school, but we realize we'll have to refine this. And I appreciate the question, because if this is adopted, and I suggest that it be adopted, we have to have a realization, we'll need to refine it within 2 to 3 months to see how it's working and how it's not working. One area that we'll have to refine is, are we interfering with that teenager on his way to Harding or Tri Rivers using the sidewalks that are being constructed for safe routes to schools? How can we refine it to allow that to happen, but not have that same activity in a high-density residential neighborhood where we don't want these devices to be utilized with the electronic motors while people are walking dogs and doing other things on the sidewalk. So we're going to have to come together in 2 to 3 months. I would suggest we do it. Let's see it, how it's working, and refine it. So I would suggest we pass it and then come back.
Mr. Craig?
Oh,
I'm sorry, Mr. Rollins, go ahead.
this is just my thought. I feel like we need to get something at least passed so that, at his point, we can have a couple months of decent weather where people are going to be out using these vehicles. Before you know it, I hate to say it, but we're going to be talking about snowmobiles. So we've had, this would be the fourth reading tonight. I'll I'll let others speak, but I think you know where I'm headed, so
Yes, sir.
I'll come back around when
Okay.
when the time's appropriate.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes, I was just going to reiterate, I believe that the law director we had this clarification about the downtown business district where you could not ride your bicycles on the sidewalks, and that would be essentially the same thing here as well, so.
Mr. Ralph Smith?
Yeah, I echo the sentiments of Mr. Rollins and Mr. Kreider both. Like I say, we've had many hearings on this thing. We beat it to death in committee. We've hammered it here a few times. I think it's a good product, so I would like to make a motion that we suspend the rules.
Mr. Rollins, is that a second?
Yes, so moved.
We have a first and a second. Clerk, will you take roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes?
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Okay, suspension of the 3 reading rules passes. Mr. R. Smith?
I make a motion to adopt.
Mr. Rollins?
Mr. Rollins with the second.
So moved.
Clerk, will you take roll?
Any more? Okay.
I'm sorry, any
Was
more
there any-
discussion?
Okay.
Now you can take.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes?
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Item 2, Resolution 2026-022, Aries Sportwear, CRA. Clerk, will you read?
Resolution in the matter of entering into a community reinvestment area agreement with Aries Sportswear and Mike Campbell for development of property at 645 Bell Fountain Avenue in Marion, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Okay, Mr. Rollins, this come out of Job and Economic Development.
This did. This came to us from regional planning, so I'm going to turn over to Evelyn and crew. So
Mr.
we
Lee.
have talked about this
Mr. Cannon.
a few different times. This is in relation to Aries Sportswear relocating from Hilliard to Marion. So I believe
Mr.
we've actually got
Lingazy.
someone with Aries here today.
Yeah, just go up here for 5 seconds. Ken Lingazy, Regional Planning. I'd like to introduce Mike Campbell, Theory Sportswear, to answer any of your questions.
Thank you for being here tonight.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Council, any questions?
Just want to thank you for moving your business here and creating
I wanna
new,
thank you
creating new
for pronouncing
jobs.
the name of the company correctly. Not everybody gets that right. You guys all did.
Well, they've been calling you Fastenal in the last meeting, so I got that straightened out.
Just a couple questions for me. Understand you're actually relocating 18 full-time positions, 20 part-time employees. Is that seasonal, or how does the part-time work?
It's seasonal. We sell heavily across the country into the high school and like team sports market. We sell spearwear.
Yep.
You know? So if you just think back to when you're in school, like it gets really heavy 3 times a year. So we have a lot of people that come in. We keep them in hours
Season,
the whole
basketball
year,
season,
most of them,
graduation.
but not consistent hours.
Okay.
It's demand based.
And then I saw there is potential to add as many as 20 full-time and 30 part-time, maybe within 2 to 3 years. Would that be additional expansion at the site, or is that just natural growth, kind of organically with what you've got there?
I'm not completely sure I understand the question, but I'll take a shot and then you can.
Go ahead.
We would grow. Like it's the expectation that once we get settled into a home that we own, we're currently leasing in Hilliard, and that
Okay.
lease is coming and going soon. And it's time to move the factory, is the best way to put it. But once we get there, we get that part stable. The other machines that tend to propel like a web-based business, which is a lot of what we are, they're in place. So I'm a little nervous to put a match to them until we get like stability and
Sure.
where we're gonna be.
Sure. I appreciate that. Any other questions from council? Yes?
Yes, what is your timeline then to actually, once we get through this, what is?
Oh, to move?
Yes,
Well, when we get our occupancy, which we're working at, we're chipping away at it, is the best way to put it. We want to get in a couple of weeks, so we're ready to move. That place was a screen print operation.
Midwest lettering,
And,
yeah.
Yes, so it's not a perfect fit, but it's a better fit than we could have hoped anywhere else, I think is the best way to put it. So we're set, we're ready.
Any other questions from council? Wishes of council?
Just a general question for me. This can pass as stated, right? We don't need an official public hearing.
Nope.
Okay, then I will make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Mr. Kreider, is that
I'll
a second?
Yes.
Clerk, if you'll take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Motion to approve?
Mr. Thaddeus
Second.
Smith? And a second from Thaddeus. Mr. Smith? T. Smith?
Any public comment or?
Any public comment? Clerk?
Where he's moving in at, that's a good location.
Good building.
Sorry, sir, you're gonna have to come to the
Okay.
podium and state your name and address, please.
My name's Bill Brown Jr. I live on Rochelle Drive. My wife worked at that location for 35 years when it was Midwest Letters. Big Van Sumner, very well likable gentleman and everything else. I'm glad to see you moving in that building because, you know, in this town, we've had a history of businesses going out and those buildings dilapidated, okay? That building is too nice to let sit empty, you know? And I honestly believe you're gonna be in a good location for there because there's a lot of traffic on Bell Fountain and stuff. And I believe you'll get a lot of support out of this town,
I believe that's it.
you know? And I wish you the best of luck. And if you ever want to know anything about that building, you look me up. I'll help you. Bill Brown.
Okay, Bill Brown, thank you. By the way, I know this sounds slick. He's right, there's a lot of good building stock in this town. And, you know, that big city out there is gonna get closer to you guys in your lifetime. I've seen it back where I grew up.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So we have a first and a second. Clerk, will you take roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Pass.
Okay, item 3, ordinance 2026-074, Mark Street Alley vacation. Clerk, will you read?
Ordinance vacating part of a 15-foot public alley lying south of lots 5694, 5695, and 5696, and north of lots 5715, 5716, and 5717 in the Gebhard-Pado edition of the City of Marion, Plat Book 3, page 2, Marion County, State of Ohio, and retaining permanent easement rights.
Okay,
And this has got a public hearing at our next meeting.
yes, and this has a public hearing. This come out of Streets and Sewer, which is my committee. We have a public hearing scheduled for September 14th. This has to go 3 readings and have the public hearing. So I'll leave this as a second reading. Item number 4, ordinance 2026-075, 306 Silver Street rezone legislation. Clerk, will you read?
Ordinance amending the zoning map of the City of Marion by rezoning 306 Silver Street from an R2 General Dwelling District to an R3 Multifamily District.
Mr. Kreider, this come out of zoning and annexation?
Yes, this came out of zoning annexation with a 2-run recommendation to approve. Asking for a second reading tonight, although I do have some comments.
This also has a public hearing on the 14th.
Public hearing, thank you, on the 14th of September.
Okay.
I've been really working my way through this, and this is something that I'm supportive of the mission when you have recovering housing, but in keeping up with the lot size, and that being a spot zoned situation, really right in the middle of an R2, I'm really not right now at the point of supporting this. So just to let everybody know.
Evelyn? Yes, ma'am?
I don't know if the applicant is here today, but he did come at the last meeting, and he can come again to the public hearing. He did want, one of the things he wanted to say is he did acquire the property next door to it, which is at the corner, because that also was a concern that was brought up at city planning, was that his parcel was small, it didn't have access for parking or a driveway by him acquiring, and that had gone up for sheriff's sale or some sale recently. So he didn't want to speak before he knew he was purchased done that. But now he'll have an opportunity to have a driveway off of the side street.
Commercial street?
Yes.
Commercial street.
To access that building and have it go into the next parcel. So he's trying to satisfy some of the concerns that have been raised by others.
Excuse me, Evelyn.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute.
Is he gonna try to, is he gonna put in an application to rezone that parcel that he just purchased as well? Will this go back through city planning? Is this something
No,
he
I
should
think
retract
right
the
now
application?
it's he's just acquiring it for the,
Easement?
well, yeah, for the access for driving, for cars have a driveway. I don't think at this moment he wants to change the application or anything of that nature, unless you think that would be advisable, and then I could relay that back to him.
Just as a general question, from a legal perspective, if he doesn't change the application, how can we take that into consideration?
Right.
Correct. It wouldn't change it from being a spot zoning, as you're referring to. It would satisfy the ability to provide parking for his tenants, which was one of the items discussed.
Mr. Clerk.
Sorry. Isn't there a building still on that corner?
There is.
So he's gonna tear that down and make it parking?
He would still keep it for housing, but again, there's a driveway behind it. Before that, the parcel in question is the second lot in with no access to the rear alley because
Right.
there's a parcel behind it and no access for a driveway on Silver Street. This would now at least provide vehicular access to that 306 parcel. It's just a piece of information to relay. It's not a big game changer.
Those are both small lots, right? Does he have room on that additional lot he purchased to put a driveway
There is
to
a
reach
driveway
both?
on it
Okay.
already, and it
Because I know they gotta leave, what, 25% of the property for, or they can only use up 25% of it?
It's already on there.
Okay.
Well,
Mr. Ralph Smith?
The parcel on the corner, does it have a residence on it now?
It does.
Is it livable?
It is. Okay, yeah, I believe so.
Okay, we're not gonna run into the problem of using that as part of the R3, are we?
No, I don't think that's the intent, at least he's not.
It could very easily happen.
Ms. Craig?
Naomi Craig, Silver Street. This is right across the street from me, and if I'm not mistaken, didn't that gentleman say that he was going to sell that property to a recovery?
Lease. I believe he was gonna lease it,
Okay, so.
from what I understood.
Ms. Clark, and I think you have, has anyone been there to look at the property? Okay, so even if you parked on the corner, they're still gonna have to have backyard zoned to turn it into parking. You're gonna be beyond your 25% limit. You're probably looking at more like 60% if you put parking in the back of that. What happens when he wants to zone the one on the corner as an R3 because he's already got an R2 next to it, and he can say, well, there's one right next door. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I believe they bought the house across the street. It's a giant house. I expect that to come through as an R3 before too long. We just had someone killed on Silver Street last week. Traffic. You, please come there, not during the day, in the evening, when everyone is home from work. You start adding 3 to 4 more cars to that area. Mr. Kreider, you and I have discussed it. We believe that Silver Street is probably wider than most other streets. It's nice and smooth. I can't complain about potholes. As a matter of fact, you've never heard me complain about a pothole. Please, I mean, we have it around the corner already. You cannot add a driveway to that property legally, and if you can, I want one, okay? I want a driveway, because a driveway in my backyard would take up more than I'm allowed, so I don't have one. But if we're going to do this, we're rezoning for recovery, so these people can make a boatload of money in the middle of a residential neighborhood. A boatload of money in the middle of a residential neighborhood. It's written on, the writing's on the wall that next door is gonna happen. They're gonna come back and ask for that. And we're gonna say, well, you know, these people wanna invest in our community and they wanna make these houses nicer and they wanna do this and we're grateful for the investment. People are investing in Silver Street. We don't need businesses in the middle of our residential area. So please, consider the traffic. If you haven't looked at the lot, please look at the lot. There's no way you could add parking to that lot. Just please consider, and I will tell you this, until recently, all work had ceased on the property while it was going through this process. They got it looking nice on the outside, replaced the windows, did the siding, did some things to the porch, took down the ratty thing. All work ceased while this process was going on.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, or Clark, I'm sorry. Mr. Danny Clark.
Bald. He's got head.
It was the hair, right?
That property on the corner originally was a store. I used to live on Mary Street. I remember there was a store there, and it pretty much goes almost the entire length of the property. So if there's a driveway coming in, it's right at the back, and there's gonna be no parking on the actual property. So, you know, I would have been more open if they were gonna tear it down and make a parking lot out of it. But if they're gonna have renters living there, and they're gonna be driving in and out in the back, I just see major problems with that. And, you know, yeah, that was Little Joe's, and the house next door where they're putting the recovery center was the neighborhood haunted house.
Murder house.
Yeah, exactly.
People to shut off their cell phones.
Mr. Davis. And a friendly reminder, let's silence our cell phones, please. Brandon.
My name's Randy Davis, I live at 165 Lot Red. The thing I got with the problem with these recovery houses and stuff, a lot of times the people that are in those recovery houses aren't even from Marion. They're coming from Columbus, other places, they're bringing their problems with them here. And then when they fail the programs and stuff, they get kicked out of these houses, then they're living in the parks next to our houses. And they're living behind Weaver's bail bonds, they're living down by the schools and stuff. They got little homeless camps they start setting up. And then the other thing is the parking, there's no parking. So they'll just have lines going all the way down the thing, there's no parking for your residents. Then they start parking in your yard, which is going on around my house because there's no public parking. So they just pull in through the alleys and stuff, and then you got people lined up all night long in the back of your property. And a lot of times they're recovering addicts and stuff, so they're thieves and stuff, just saying, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody is, and I'm for recovery, but I'd like to see the recovery be for Marion people to get clean so we can clean up a problem instead of keep continuing bringing the problem in here and having more problems out of it. And it's people, a lot of this community is family and friends. So that's what we should be helping out, our family and our friends, before we help out other communities, people coming in here. Because they're just bringing more problems, more drugs in there. It just opens up a pipeline for when we shut one drug problem down, another drug problem opens up here. And it's out of control. I mean, I promise you I can't get the police to do nothing about it around me. The mayor, none of them. It's a family and friend thing, I believe, down there at the police station. And they stick together, and we're just stuck footing the bill for it. It used to be the people's community, and now it's the mayor's community.
Mr. Davis, we're talking about recovery housing and rezoning.
Yeah, and I don't believe I don't believe we should be rezoning it because there's already enough problems in Marion
Your point
that
taken.
exist that nobody's working on fixing any of the problems that exist here. They're just bringing more problems in, and nothing's getting dealt with or fixed. What have you guys done to fix any of the problems that already exist? Because the drug problem's getting worse this year than it is last year. I promise you.
That's not what the stats say.
The stats are ran by you guys. The family and friends that I'm talking about up here.
Okay. Mr. Dunson?
Yeah.
Christian Dunson, for this purpose, Second Ward City Planning. All voted no when he came through first time. 2 reasons: we don't do spot zoning in Marion. We just don't. We've had every engineer in the past 4 years tell me that. We don't do it. And 2, as a committee, we worked very, very hard to put recovery housing in Marion in zones that we felt that would be the best amount of work. And R3 won one of them.
R2.
R3 is one. R3, C4, C5.
It's the R2.
R2 is not one of them.
Exactly.
So I have a problem with them wanting to do recovery housing, but go to where there's already zoned recovery housing and work it out there. If we don't start saying no, we're going to run into this problem all the time. Because people are going to understand that it happens, and then he got one, and then this kid gets one, and it's one little house, and nobody's going to worry. There's a driveway issue here, which we didn't even have a driveway issue when we heard this. We didn't even. This is the first I'm hearing of a driveway issue because he said he had enough spaces in front of his house for them to park on the street. So.
Christian, can I ask you, this says it came out of City Planning Commission with a 5-2 recommendation to approve. I thought this come out 7-0 to reject.
No,
that's the one before it.
There were 2
That's-
that reject. There was
Okay.
me and
That was the one before.
That was the alley vacation. I apologize.
And she rejected it because she's dealing with recovery housing right next door to her house.
Okay.
I thought they had to leave. They were gone.
They what?
They're gone.
They're gone. But when she took over, she was dealing with this, and she's seen that for recovery housing to be given in should take a mile. And the people who suffer are the addicts, because it's not them taking the mile. I mean, you got some bad attitudes, but you're detoxing from drugs. I'm not going to say you're going to be a happy-go-lucky person. But it's the institutions themselves are taking the mile. Because they're like, well, we got it, we're here now. Good luck getting us out. So, that's my 2 cents.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, this needs to have 3 readings and a public hearing, which is scheduled for September 14th. So, yes, Ms. Larkin.
I have had a conversation with Ms. Craig about that area. And some of the people are making their houses look a lot better. They are fixing them up. And that house with the driveway in the back is not gonna have enough room, because I've been by it, and it's not gonna have enough room.
Okay.
One more point, please, briefly.
Ms. Craig.
Maybe Craig, Silver Street. I just wanted to say that Governor DeWine just passed an executive order that has limitations on recovery housing. They are actually putting together a coalition right now to look at rules and regulations and laws surrounding these things, because I think in 2020 or 2022, there were like 200 and some of these recovery housing units, and now there's like 1,700. So the state realizes that there is a problem here, so before we start handing out free passes to these locations in Marion, maybe we should hit a pause, and see what the state's gonna do. Thank you.
Mr. Greider, leave this as a second reading?
Yes.
You have to.
You have to.
Okay. Item number 5, ordinance 2026-078, Dora 2026. Clerk, will you read?
Ordinance authorizing the creation of a designated outdoor refreshment area, or DORA, within downtown Marion.
Okay, Mr. Rollins, come out of finance. No, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Mr. R. Smith, come out of legislation, codes, and regulations.
Yes, this came out of legislation, codes, and regulations and codes. whatever. Came out of my committee. But we've had quite a few hearings on this, a lot of comments. We've beat it up pretty good. We've drawn the map, we've surveyed the people around the perimeter. I believe that we've got a good map here, well-defined. I did hear of a question today that said that the east curb of High Street is the boundary, and someone thought that it was supposed to be the alley, but I went back and researched, and the committee had it as the east curb of High Street, so it's the same as it was when it left committee. I'm not going to make a recommendation whether we have a first or second hearing on this or not.
Mr. Kreider?
Just for clarification about that, that was a part of Exhibit A, so whether we had to, I don't know, to make that language change on that, if that would be reflective of any actions that we need to do, okay? I don't know. Evelyn, I don't know, I'm going to ask Evelyn to do some clarification on that.
I have given you two different maps over the course of time, so I'm going to say, when we came out of committee, I think at that committee meeting, I had given everybody a map that kind of sketched out and did show it to the alley. But when I gave the clerk later that next week, tried to make kind of an all black and white copy, that one took it to High Street. So there is confusion between the two exhibits, and but I'll go with whatever you think you passed out of committee. So I do admit there was what I gave the clerk as an additional exhibit shows it differently than I think I showed you.
I believe this is the one. That's the one that came out of committee.
No, I think at that time we were doing
this one and this.
Yeah, but if you see here, this is actually the alley in between. This is
Oh, okay,
High Street,
so
so it
we're
is
looking at-
different, yeah.
Okay.
So it is off by like half a block, so.
Just for clarification, that was the alley between Hope Church and Connect Co-works.
Correct, correct.
All right.
There's the, try to keep
Right.
Connect Works in the door and then keep the church,
Out.
the church, in this case, Hope Church.
Mr. Ralph Smith?
Yes, Evelyn, in that area where it goes over to High Street, are there any businesses in there that requested to stay in the door? It's not a very big area, but.
No, not in that particular section, because I think they're all churches. That
So if
goes
we-
down to Salem, doesn't it?
Yes.
So if we kept that straight on the alley all the way, it wouldn't be any problem, right? Right. But I'd like to make that amendment.
Mr. Stevenson?
I'll second.
There's a first and a second.
Yeah.
Clerk, if you'll take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. Harsmith?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Now I gotta read it again.
Do you have to read as amended?
Ordinance authorizing the creation of a designated outdoor refreshment area or DORA within downtown Marion as amended.
Yes, sir.
Daniel Erickson, 912 Cambridge Avenue. I missed some of that conversation there. It was just about as fuzzy as the maps that we've been looking at. At the last meeting, 1 week ago, Mr. Kreider asked a question for clarification that the eastern boundary would be between Hope Church and the Connect Co-works. Yeah, and I think that's what, okay, and that's what you just said, so we're back to that.
Yes, sir.
We need better satellite pictures of the city. That would help. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A question in the back of the room.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not gonna come around here.
If you'll come to the podium, state your name and address, please.
You want Mr. T. Smith to speak? Right?
234 Forest Street.
Did you get that?
You know, we're already talking about not having enough police in the area to monitor what's going on now, but then you're adding these drinking places, and people aren't gonna go by the rules. You're gonna have all kinds of people in there. You already have that downtown now. And then you want the police to go monitor that? I think it's just gonna produce more fights, more trouble, more trash, everything else downtown.
Mr. Smith?
I think I can answer some of that. We're not really adding anything. We're just shrinking the area that we currently have.
I don't think we need to even have an area.
Right.
People drink all over downtown.
Right.
I mean,
Within
you're
a door
causing more
area.
problems, you're causing more trash, you're causing more fights, and, you know, that's kind of like putting a shooting range downtown.
I sympathize with you. My wife feels the same way.
Mr. McDonald, we had any issues in the DORA?
No.
Okay. That you've been called on, to be fair. Mr. T. Smith?
Yeah, I would just encourage us to let this sit the full readings. That way, if anybody else that is within the DORA here has a good amount of time to come up here and inform us that they would either not like to be in it or would like to stay. So that's just my suggestion. Overall, I'm glad that we've taken care of the issue that brought this whole thing to light. So, thank you.
So we'll revert back to a first reading with the amendment. Mr. Ralph Smith, are you
Yes.
good with that?
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Mr. Davis?
Good morning, I'm Grant Davis. I live at 165 Lottery. I have a problem with the drinking and stuff everywhere because there's a lot of people trying to do recovery and stuff at these churches and stuff, and they can't say no to drugs, and they're everywhere, and you're just making it more just everywhere for them to be able to legally do it. And it's just one problem after another, and the statistics are, it takes you an hour to get a cop to your house for a theft problem. And I live 5 minutes away from there. So when all these fights and stuff are breaking out, you just gonna tell them, hey, hold on a minute, it'd be an hour, I'll get the cops here so they can take care of it? Because I'm not allowed to just defend myself out here, because if I get found guilty, I go to prison for it. So how are you supposed to protect yourself when you got all these drunks out here? Drunks and drug addicts, that's everywhere on our street. I promise you that it's out of control, the drug problem and stuff around here, and there's really nothing being done about it. So I don't know who we can hold accountable for, because we're paying people to protect and serve us. It takes an hour to get them down to Lottery Street from here. So I don't know what they're really doing, and the stats, I don't know how these stats are figured up, but I can assure you that a lot of these crimes aren't even being reported. There's people getting into fights and everything, and a lot of times if it's not somebody that's just watching through their window calling, there ain't nothing being said because it's all family and friend stuff going around here. So it's just, oh, that's Johnny getting into it with Billy, or, you know what I mean? It's nothing, it's just, let it go, you know what I'm saying? So I believe the stats are wrong because they're not even being called in the first place because they already know nothing's gonna be done by the cops, or it takes them an hour to get there. So by that time, it's over with. So you're best to just handle your situation and go back in your house. Instead of getting the police involved, that should be involved in these problems.
So you're saying you're against the DORA? The
I
down?
guess, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Matthew Cooper at 44 Commerce Street. I'm just curious, you guys have this whole big area to drink, but nobody's allowed to smoke weed outside, and it's legal. So, are people allowed to smoke weed inside of this this area? No.
No. State law.
State law.
Correct.
All right. Don't you think that's kind of hypocritical?
I do.
Okay. All right. How many is it more, are people who drink more violent than people who smoke weed?
Statistically, yes.
Okay, so how does this make sense?
You bring up some very good points.
That's all.
Mr. Daniels.
608 Decatur Street. No, she had a pretty good point, because one of the bars down that's in the Dora, it's not a shooting range, but it's an axe throwing range. And I'm like, well, I think they throw knives too. And I'm like, not as effective as a gun, I suppose, but I mean, if somebody got drunk and mad, they could sit there and throw that hatchet at somebody, I suppose.
Have you been there, sir?
Huh?
Have you been there?
Oh, I know where it's at.
No, have you been there?
Have I ever been in there?
Yeah, because you can't actually throw axes if you've actually been consuming alcohol. They don't allow it. That's right.
Oh, well, I guess it's just, you know.
Yeah.
What good is a bar if you can't drink?
Well, you can go and throw axes.
It's a combined building, but they separate the activities.
Well, I've done it before, but I haven't been drinking when I do it, so,
That's probably good to not mix the two.
yeah, I haven't drank since I was 28, so, I just wondered, because it was like, you know, you got that, and, as the Dora goes, it's like we've already had, one drunk driver, like on Saturday night, try to take out, Fred's on Silver Street. I'm kind of against the whole thing myself. I mean, if you want to drink in your house, that's one thing. I'm for that, but coming out and doing this and having the banks have to sit there and say, hey, we don't want you here. So, I mean, you've got businesses down there too that don't want to have anything to do with this.
They have the option to opt out of that. Am I correct?
Yes.
So you're opposed to the Dora as well, Mr. Daniels?
I think maybe that, I mean, are you talking about expanding it?
No, we actually just made an amendment to shrink it, to make it smaller.
Well, here's what I'm trying to get at. It's like, you got the Dora downtown. But what about other places, business districts in Marion aren't they gonna want theirs too?
It's called a downtown outdoor refreshment area. So unless it's downtown, I don't know that it would work unless they're doing like a suburb outdoor refreshment area or.
I don't know, I was wondering why people haven't questioned it already, because it's like, you know, I mean, what's special about downtown anyway?
It's common in a lot of municipalities,
Look,
and it brings
let's be
people
honest
down.
here,
And
it's like the downtown area, the bars and stuff were set up for the government workers and for the lawyers and for the people that actually work downtown. It's like most people during the day, they don't go. And maybe they do at night, but you just sat there and lost a business. It's like that place down there used to be the SS Craig. It used to be a pizza place. It shut down, it went away. I mean, is that the only draw that you got to this place is alcohol? I mean, really? I'm opposed.
thank you. Yes, sir.
Hey, no, actually, my call Cambridge Avenue. I just forgot to mention something while I was up here. I'll try not to belabor. I heard somebody mention Salem Church. And just for clarification, the church that you're referring to with the rooster on the outside?
Liberty Baptist.
Exactly. They have become Liberty. That church moved, Liberty Baptist moved in about a year ago. So just make sure everybody's referring to the right place and by the right things.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Michael Stone, 233 Valentine. I want to know, honestly, how this by definition doesn't encourage drunk driving.
Good point.
I mean, you're encouraging people to go to an area under the premise of being able to drink in that area, but nobody's ensuring that they're not sobered up by the time that they go home. So that puts everybody in the general vicinity in harm's way, does it not?
Sir, what was your name again, just for the record?
Michael Stone.
Michael Stone. Valentine.
And
Mr. Ralph Smith, read this as a first reading.
Yes, and before we do that, I would like to encourage the citizens of Marion, anybody that's watching on the video or whatever, let us know how you feel about this. The only way we're going to be able to respond is by what you tell us. And that's our responsibility. We are here to represent the people of our wards and the people of the city. So please let us know. And yes, first reading, please.
Okay. Item number 6, ordinance 2026-079, insurance proceeds. Clerk, will you read?
Ordinance making additional appropriations to the insurance proceeds fund, year ending December 31st, 2026.
Mr. Rollins, come out of finance.
Yeah, this came out of finance with a 3-0 recommendation to adopt. This is in regard to fire burnt structures within the city of Marion. I think this one is in the tune of, trying to find it here, like $36,119.50. If there's any questions, I'm sure Ms. Torino can answer those. If not, I will make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Mr. R. Smith?
Second.
First and a second. Any discussion? If you'll take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith.
Motion to adopt.
Mr. Rollins?
And Mr. Rollins, will second.
So moved.
If you'll take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Motion passes. Item number 7, ordinance 2026-080, engineering reappropriation. Clerk, will you read?
Ordinance to deappropriate funds from the Service Department and reappropriate said funds to the Engineering Department, both within the general fund.
Mr. Rollins, another one out of your committee?
Yeah, this also came out of finance with a 3-0 recommendation to adopt. This is with regard to $4,000 within the city budget that we want to move to a fund. I will let Ms. Torino answer any questions that you may have on this one.
No questions? Mr. Rollins?
I'll make a motion that we suspend the 3 reading rule.
Mr. Clark? Is that a
I'll
second? Have a first and a second. Ma'am, we don't need to be giving fingers. That's not appropriate. Thank you.
No. Move on.
Take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Motion to adopt.
Mr. Ralph Smith?
Second.
A first and a second. Take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Ordinance passes. Item 8, ordinance 2026-081, auditing software. Clerk, will you read?
Ordinance authorizing and directing the city auditor to enter into a contract with Software Solutions, SSI, and Right Stuff Software on behalf of the city of Marion for the replacement of the city's computer software system and related software, and declaring an emergency, including pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 735.051.
Mr. Rollins, another one out of finance.
Yeah, this also came out of finance with a 3-0 recommendation.
He also came out of
to,
Information Services,
with
I'm sorry.
Recommendation to adopt. This is to replace New Age software, New World software within the city auditing department. This also would replace our current ADP payroll software. These two softwares that we're talking about will work hand in hand together. There are representation from Software Solutions here, and I will ask that you direct any questions towards them.
Any questions from council? Mr. R. Smith?
Yes, I have a couple of questions, more or less technical questions, I suppose. Who determines the access for the levels of access that people have in this? How is that determined? Can anybody call Software Solutions and say, we want the access level for somebody raised up so that they can do more?
It should be the auditor's office. It's a financial tool, and as an auditor, she should have access to determining.
Okay. Is there a single point of contact for, say, like doing that? I mean, how does that happen? Does the auditor just call?
Like if you have a new employee, for an example, if you had a new employee and they're a clerk, the auditor would grant them access to what they need for that position.
Right.
Does that answer?
Well, and I guess I'm wondering, is there a record of that kept? Is there a record of who requested something, what they requested, who they requested it for?
You don't just like request like, hey, I want access to everything as a new employee. It's based on their position and what they use on a daily basis.
I'm not sure, what are you talking
I think
about, what we currently have or what we're looking at?
Well, yeah, what we currently have is part of the problem that we have today.
What we currently have is authored by the auditor's office.
Right.
And they get, like Chelsea or Zoe couldn't call in and say, make me an administrator with all the rights. It would have to be the auditor that calls in to give those kind of rights, and I'm sure that Software Solutions has the same way. In fact, when we go through the process, because we've had so many meetings with them, we know that we'll have to designate certain people as master users, and then they have the permission to add an employee or somebody like that would need to go in and do POs and that kind of thing.
Okay, and then my next question, I guess, is there a record of who did what?
I'm sure that it keeps an ongoing record. I'm sure that our new software would keep an ongoing record of who requests what, and who has what rights and privileges.
Okay, yeah, because I think that's a vitally important thing to have. Let me see if I have anything else in here.
When we have a representative from Software Solutions here, if you'd like to answer that.
Yeah, Brandon Eastland, Software Solutions. First off, thank you for having us out. So in short, yes, anything within that user admin capabilities is documented and it's going to essentially work through the auditor's office. So to that, feed off that same example, if a new clerk comes on, we first have to be given admin rights by the auditor to create them as a user. And through that process, there's authorization of, am I actually speaking to Auditor Vidya? Yes, I am. And then all of that conversation back and forth is documented, along with any activity done within the system. Approvals, disapprovals, payments, invoices, budgetary items, anything workflow related is captured at a point in time, down to the second, with a signature next to it, showing what user granted that purchase, that invoice, that budgetary item, whatever it is.
I guess my concern is that as Software Solutions, who do you take requests from? Is it 5 different people, 10 different people? Because what we have now with New World is, different people could call in and raise the level of somebody else.
No, we do not.
So
we don't currently have a system like that. They may have had that before we got here, but
right.
Nobody in our administration is allowed
and
to
that's what I'm talking about.
Give us those rights.
Past history, yeah.
And ultimately, that's going to be up for the city to dictate. Meaning, if you all choose to go this direction and begin implementing the system, as we sit down with Vidya, she will essentially tell us, these are the power users. A lot of our folks, it's one person, and they have a say over who can and cannot get in it. Others have 2 or 3 individuals that have that right.
Because my preference would be that we have one point of contact for changes to the system, such as our IT department. And Vidya and whoever else has that authority would send a request to that person, and that person then would contact you. That's more of a control than what we have.
Which that is absolutely a capability. Again, it's just gonna be.
That's what I'd like to see. Yeah,
dictate.
thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Could you say your name again for us, just for the record?
Brandon Easterling.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Just a little recap in case people didn't see the committee meeting where we went pretty in-depth with a lot of the to replace the New World software. The company is an Ohio-based company. I just saw they had a birthday this week with like 40 years in service. In Ohio, they got over 500 customers, one of which being right across the street at the county building. We've checked several of the references that they provided to us without any issues. When you hear us talk about Right Stuff, Derek's here also tonight from Right Stuff Software, which is the timekeeping element of this software. So Right Stuff and Software Solutions work hand in hand. So it's a seamless bond where everything that they do is supported by Software Solutions and vice versa. So Right Stuff is the timekeeping element of what we need for our payroll system, and Software Solutions is everything else.
Yep. And those integrate well, and you guys have done that in other areas.
Correct, via, for anybody who's tech savvy, via an API key. So the systems are built to communicate, translate information back and forth.
Yes, Mr. Ralston.
Right Stuff is more in line with what police and fire do. Is that correct?
That's
Yes.
how it started.
In our career, sorry.
Could you state your name just for the record?
Derek Shaw. Right.
What was the last name?
Derek Shaw.
Shaw.
SHAUL. Right Stuff Software. Yes, we actually got started with law enforcement. It was our first customer in Maumee, Ohio. Their police kind of developed it with us. We quickly expanded the fire and service departments. But it is tailored, the scheduling portion of it is specifically tailored for law enforcement and public safety groups. And that's what makes our software a little bit unique from the vast majority of timekeeping solutions. The vast majority of them don't work for 24-hour environments and the complexities that the public safety groups have.
Good, thank you.
We have a question from the audience back here. Mr. Davis.
My name is Brandon Davis. I'd like to know, 165 Lot of Red is my address, and I'd like to know if there's going to be some accountability for these systems that are running this. They've already ran us into the ground, not this guy specifically, because they're just bringing him in, but is there some way to put some kind of clause in the contract or something with them? Did they lose money if the stuff they're saying is not being done right? You see what I'm saying?
Mr. Clark.
Yeah, I'll address that. The problems with New World systems really weren't New World's problems. They were problems that happened in this building
So the people we elected,
that are now gone.
they're all gone? That's why,
Yep.
I'm just wondering why there ain't no accountability. I mean, there's millions missing.
I believe New World was bought in 2008, and no one here
I just like to
was
know-
in
yeah, I just like to
government
know
at
they're
that
not
time.
handing all this money out.
No.
And then there's no accountability at the end of the day, because I believe we're already giving the police force tons of money, and there's no help coming when we call for it. I mean, it takes an hour to get to La Red Street, that's crazy, for a theft in progress, you know what I'm saying? I just don't know where the accountability's being. I'd like to see something, I mean, the mayor or somebody needs to be held accountable for things that are going on, because you call them for a problem and it just you keep going down the chain of line and there's no.
Mr. Davis,
answers.
we're referring to, this ordinance has to do with going to a new software solution, or
Yeah,
a
I
new
just wanna know
software,
if
a
we
new
go through
software
that.
system. So if you want to make these accusations and complaints, please wait until matters not on the agenda.
Yeah, it all
Okay.
exists side by side, hand in hand with the people that are running our.
Like I said, I think what you're saying is better on matters not on the agenda. If you have something against us even thinking about going to software solutions,
Yeah.
please
That's what
tell
I'm
us.
saying. I just want to make sure there's some kind of clause in there saying that, you know what I mean, if it's not doing what it's saying it's going to do, we're still paying for this at the end of the year.
Mr. Russell, do you want to answer this?
I will.
Thank you, Mr. Rollins.
I mean, there's an 18-month period where New World and this system are gonna have to run concurrently. So if we can't determine in that 18-month period whether this software is gonna work or not, shame on us for even trying to bring a new software. That would be my 2 cents.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure that something, you know what I'm saying, because we've been going down, the 18 months is a long time, and a lot can go wrong in 18 months. So I just want to make sure somebody's going to be held accountable if nothing is fixed in that time, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, in the same way that we'll go after those individuals from the past through findings of recovery once we have audits that go through the
because I mean,
state.
if you break the law or something, you should be held accountable for it.
Completely agree.
I appreciate it.
Ms. Craig, your arm was up first. I seen you, Ms. Kim.
Naomi Craig, Silver Street. Okay, I have a couple questions about the software. Didn't you spend $80,000 to convert to ADP not long ago? I know not everyone was here. I guess that would be a better question for the people. We spent a sizable amount of money to go to ADP, and it was an absolute nightmare. Why are we abandoning it so quickly? I mean, we spent a lot of money on it, so like, have we had it for a year?
I think we're coming up on a year.
Maybe right out of here.
Yep.
So there's also, I'm assuming, the monthly maintenance fee for ADP. So we've spent well over 6 figures for something and we're just abandoning it now. Is there a reason for that? 6 figures a year ago, and we don't have a reason why we're abandoning it.
I don't think you're accurate with 6 figures a year ago, but we did go to ADP.
$80,000 and then.
You want me to answer a question?
No, I wanted to finish what I was saying.
You asked a question, do you want me to answer the question?
I'm going to acknowledge speaker.
Do you want me to answer the question?
Shut him down. You jumped up and said that you would answer the question. Isn't there a monthly maintenance fee after we paid $80,000?
You guys settle down back there. Ms. Craig has the floor. I'm not gonna ask you back there to keep it down again, or I'm gonna have you removed. Mayor will allow her to finish, and then you can respond. Excuse me?
I said you work for us respectfully.
Remove her, please. Respectfully.
Give me your fingerprint, Jay McDonald.
Sure, let's talk about it outside. Proceed with the
You got your
meeting.
body camera on? I want a body camera on when I'm talking to this clown and this tyrant and this criminal. I need a body camera, a police officer with a body camera, please.
We're all on film here. Please
Well,
exit. Yes, please
You work for
exit.
us.
Please exit.
I'll exit myself, don't you touch me. You work for us.
Please exit.
Damn you all. You work for us. We the people. This is our building. You work for us. How dare you?
Try the
Hey,
other.
Donald, open the door for me, motherfucker.
It's the other door.
Please escort me out with your fake ass teeth.
All right, Ms. Craig.
I'm the calm one.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Write this down. If I'm the voice of reason, we're in a crazy situation, okay? Mr. Pollock wrote it down. Voice of reason. Put it next to there, please. I want to see it the minutes next week. All right, Mayor, we're both laughing. Let's have a moment now. $80,000 to implement, and with New World, it was $10,000 a month. So that was my assumption. If it was less than that, didn't we say it was like $10,000 a month to maintain New World? It's like $100,000 a year.
They were charging us $150,000 a year.
So I was going with 10 grand a month to make it easy. So I just assumed that there would be a similar cost to support ADP.
54,000
Okay,
annually.
so we have spent more than $100,000 on ADP. 80,000 to implement and 100 or 54,000 to maintain.
I don't know if that initial implementation
I don't
included that.
I don't have those figures with
Okay.
me. I'm not sure that it's that much.
Okay, but we know it's at least 80,000.
Okay.
I remember that from the meetings distinctly, $80,000 to, because I thought it was a sizable amount of money, but if we needed ADP, it made sense. I'm just trying to figure out why we're abandoning it.
So, the reason we went to ADP to begin with was because we lost a couple of payroll clerks in a short amount of time. There was no backup for a payroll clerk. We had that incident happen 2 or 3 different times. When that happens and nobody else can do payroll in a New World, then the theory was if we go to ADP and have a company do it, then it doesn't matter if somebody's off or we're missing somebody, we won't have that situation again. During the setup phase of ADP, our auditor's office was supposed to be providing them a lot of information, a lot of check and balance back and forth. They were saying, okay, it's good, it wasn't good. So when it came to go live, it was one disaster after another from November until the end of January. When we brought in a third party, so if we include that third party that we brought in, it probably would be over $100,000 that we spent to get ADP up and running. And I think we had less than a week to get W-2s done, that kind of thing. And so we all remember that. So what we have found and what we think would be much more beneficial for the city would be to have our payroll and our accounting software all in one bundle. So everything we do is all in that one bundle. We don't think that ADP is very good for us in a municipality setting to be able to do the 5 or 6 different contracts that we have and step increases and all of those things that go along with that. So that's why we would choose at this point, being that we're spending the money for software solutions, just to roll everything into one. And when we get that, it's still going to be 15 to 18 month process. So we can't cut off and do payroll separately. So we're going to have to go through that whole 15 to 18 month process. So it's still going.
Are we going to be paying ADP, New World, and these other 2 companies while for 15 to 18 months?
There will be some maintenance overlap. So we're going to have to keep New World for an extended period until we get everything jiving and we know that Software Solutions is ready to go and ready to go live, it's working good, then we would be able to cut ties at that point.
Where does that money come from? To overlap?
Where would the money come?
To pay New World and ADP and Software Solutions and, so 4 companies.
Remember, we were paying $154,000 for New World until we had the audit on the modules. So this bill that we just got and just paid in August was the first one that we paid that was like $74,000.
Much more reasonable.
So we've saved money there that we'll be able to put toward the other.
Okay. And then my final question would be, based on what the state Supreme Court has said about emergency clauses, you need to have a reason in that legislation for the emergency. So what is the emergency? And the state Supreme Court said, if you can discuss something for 6 weeks in council, give it all 3 readings, is it really an emergency? So the language needs to be in there, what the emergency is, and that's based on state Supreme Court law.
Can I read it?
Yes, please.
This ordinance is declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of public peace, welfare, and safety of the city of Marion and the inhabitants thereof, due to the real and present need to move forward without delay given the current software having reached its useful life, more urgent given its current non-functioning abilities related to the auditor's office, and the significant negative impact caused by each day and week the city auditor is without a functioning software system, and as such shall take effect to be enforced immediately upon its passage and approval by the mayor, provided it receives the affirmative vote of 2/3 of all members elected to council, otherwise it shall become effective from and after the earliest period allowed by law.
So if we've had this software for years, and we've known it was no good for years, it's now an emergency when we've known about it? Same.
Miss Mayor.
Kimberly Mayor. I have something I want to read real quick before I make my point. My name is Kimberly Mayer. I am deliberately not stating my home address tonight. Under the rules, I am required to provide it in order to be recognized. But I am asking for the chair's understanding on this point for a specific safety reason. This meeting is being live streamed on Facebook. When a resident is required to announce their full address while cameras are rolling, anyone watching is given real-time notice that that person's house is currently empty. That is the same information security professionals and law enforcement officers routinely warn the public never to post online because it advertises a soft target. Mayor Collins has repeatedly cited public safety as the reason he vetoed city council's lock cameras. Safety. He has also been the driving force behind the placing of cameras in this chamber
Miss Mayor,
and live streaming.
Miss Mayor,
I'm
Miss Mayor, I have a question for you. Is this referring to Software Solutions?
I'm addressing why I'm not saying my name because you asked me to do that before.
I don't care. I don't care about your address. I'm asking you, is this about Software Solutions?
Yes, what I have to say is I stood up to speak, but I'm explaining why I don't want to give my address because you guys make it important. You say get up here and give your name and address every time. So I'm explaining. I'm almost done. Yet the very practice of forcing residents to broadcast their home address on that live stream creates a safety vulnerability that the administration appears willing to accept. Are we willing to accept that? I think we should maybe have a piece of paper where we can write our addresses down. So the question I leave to you is this simple. If safety is the guiding principle when it comes to the license plate cameras installed without the prior council approval, why is the same principle not applied to the privacy and physical safety of citizens who come here to speak? I'm happy to provide my address and privately to the clerk if I required by the official record. I simply do not want to announce it in live public stream. Thank you. Now, to my point, as far as in this software. We've been talking about multiple softwares. To me, it looks like we're trying to hurry up and mumble jumble a whole bunch of stuff. That way the people out here don't know what the heck's going on. Okay, that's what it looks like to me. I mean, we got New World, which we had for years, that all of a sudden it's an emergency, we gotta get rid of it. It's an emergency, we gotta get rid of it right now. Well, I don't think we need to get rid of it right now, because if we're gonna bring in this other one, which I think we probably should, I have nothing wrong with these people's, what they're presenting. But we need to parallel with it. You guys are saying we're only gonna have a year or 3 years, that old system. We need an audit, or we need to hold more years back from that new board order. If you're not going to give us the audit because you tell us we don't have enough money, then we need to demand that we have more years being held back. They had them for years. We need to have 4, 5, 6,
I believe
10
that.
years.
I believe that. Am I wrong? The data is ours from inception.
1 year.
Miss Mayor.
1 year right now.
The data is ours from inception, from 2008, 2009. That data is ours. Am I wrong? Okay? That data's not going anywhere. That's ours. And believe me, everybody up here, this administration, this law director, we want an audit. We want the findings of recovery from the state auditor to come out. These things are happening. What we're trying to do now is correct the path we've been on with a system that is not designed for Ohio.
I'm with
Okay,
you.
so
I'm with you.
I understand your question of not only of being concerned about keeping the data for 2 to 3 years. That's not the case. I think something was misspoken.
Yeah.
We own that data back from inception. I hope that clears that up just a little bit with you.
That's one of the things that set me off.
Okay.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
no,
we
can't
own
just
that
have a
data.
couple years and then just hurry up. Because to me, it looks like willy-nilly, like, oh, just hurry.
Yeah.
We'll just hurry, put it over here. And then get this other one going. The next thing you know, you're like, oh, what software? I'm sorry, Miss Mayor, we happen to have a race in the files. And then nobody gets held accountable. Oh, you want to hear that happen? I'll be up here raising a stink or red.
Mr. Smith.
Yes, Miss Mayor.
Yeah.
I think where you got the 2 years from is I believe Software Solutions said that they would roll 2 years of data into the new system. But the entire, back to 2009, when it went live, is in our possession. We have it, we'll keep it, and if we need to audit it, we'll do that too.
All right, that's perfect, because I did not know that. I thought we were only having a couple years. So I was thinking, we gotta run around like mad to try to collect all these files before everybody throws them away. And then file 13, there's a whole bunch of them around here.
No, they're gonna be here.
Mr. T. Smith and then Mr. Cooper.
Yeah, just, did I hear correctly in the committee meeting that this was suggested also by the state as well? That this was,
Absolutely.
very
Yes.
much needed
They were
by the
very
state?
adamant that we should move forward.
Okay. And then, just as far as the figures that we're seeing on the ordinance here, Mr. Mayor, would you mind breaking those down? Obviously, it says that the court is chipping in $50,000 to cover that. What will be the rest in the totals?
So it's approximately $270,000 for both software solutions and, Right Stuff. I always forget that one. But in talking with the court way back when, and everybody's realization that we need a new accounting software program, they had made mention 6 months or a year ago that they may be able to help with the cost of that. So when we got the figures set, I went to them again and said, hey, you guys, remember you said you might be able to help us with the cost, and they said they did. They put forth $50,000 from their computer and court computer fund.
Yes.
That they generate to help us offset that 270. The rest of it will come from our capital improvement fund.
Okay, thank you. And I could go back and look at my budget that I have, but do we know what we have in capital improvement?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have enough to cover that.
Okay. All right.
And then some.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Mr. Cooper?
Matthew Cooper, 844 Congress Street. I was just wondering about, the last time you guys suspended the 3 readings rule to even get this to this point in the full council, is that correct?
No.
No, come out of committee.
Yes, I think we suspended the rules to bring it out of committee to. Yeah.
You don't have to suspend the rules to bring it out of
We don't
committee.
suspend any rules to bring
Oh, okay.
anything out of
No,
committee.
we're
There's
just
no
bringing-
requirement.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I misspoke.
Oh, I thought that's what you guys were arguing last week about suspending the 3 readings rule to put it to the full council.
No,
Is that Rule 44, is that what you guys is using, or what is?
that's not necessary in committee.
Okay, not in the committee.
No.
Okay, so now with this, the problem I have is that we're using the same software as the OPNF and the firefighters and the police department. And the problem with that I see with that is we have, most of our leadership is aligned with the Fraternal Order of Police, so, the fire department. And I would like to make sure that there's no conflicts of interest. I would demand that we have full conflict of interest disclosures from each and every city council member or leader. Anybody had anything to do with writing ordinance, I would suggest that we find out the exact relationships between these people, if, especially when the police department and the fire department are the heavy lines of the budget, and how they've been over budget quite a bit. And if it's the same software that is allowing them to be over budget, then we're in the same problem that we are currently.
Yeah.
I'll address.
Mr. Rollins?
Yeah, can I address just a
Yes.
portion of that? I will say, I did not attend every meeting with Software Solutions, but as finance chair, I attended, I believe, at least 3. And I can tell you, the 3 meetings that I attended, there was no one there from law enforcement or fire department, for whatever that's worth.
The mayor wasn't there?
The mayor absolutely was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, commissioner?
No commissioners.
No commissioners?
No.
All right, well, that doesn't, I still like.
Auditor, treasurer, budget,
But that
budget
doesn't
director.
stop conflict of interest at all, just because they weren't in the room. They can, emails, there's a lot of things, a lot of working parts.
What would the perceived conflict of interest be, like kickbacks, or, I'm not sure I understand.
Absolutely, it's the same exact software that's allowed our budgets to be over, like.
No.
The
We're talking,
right stuff, it's the same stuff that,
we've never used Right Stuff before.
but it's the stuff that the fire departments and
That's, no, what we said is that's how that company got started. Am I right in saying that?
Correct.
That's how they got started.
right. Yeah.
And it allows them to track hourly wages. They make different rates if they're an EMT and if they're working a different shift and all those types of things. So that's how that company grew. I'm not questioning how the company grew. I just think they
Aligned
were.
with the police and the fire department, and there's a, I believe, an unequal, sample group of those people in the leadership, and I would like to know their relationships to this company. Absolutely.
Is that it?
I guess.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you
I just have a question.
pronounce that,
about
your last name a little louder, ma'am?
So if.
Could you repeat that name again? I'm sorry.
Amy Brown.
Brown.
So if John Doe down the street or who works for you wants access to, the computer system, is it just you going to grant that? Or is there 3 or 4 people going to say, hey, does this person really need access? What's their job? What's the limitation? So if somebody's in payroll, should they be in the accounts? No, they should have limited access just to payroll, not to accounts. So is there going to be 3 or 4 people stating who has the right to get into the system and not just one person?
I think one of the things that's going to be key with the state coming in for financial emergency is going to be putting in some of those internal controls that you're absolutely talking about, because I think those have been lacking in the past.
Yeah.
That's why I think this is important that we move this forward, because we've got a 2-year period where we're guaranteed somebody from the state's going to be working hand in hand with the auditor, hand in hand with the treasurer. We've already seen the nightmare that a transition like this can bring. This is a perfect opportunity right now with the state of Ohio being in here to help us guide us through that transition, quite frankly. That's where I'm at on this one.
I understand the limitations, like accounting shouldn't be over here in payroll.
Mhm.
That's with any corporation or anybody
Absolutely.
like that. They shouldn't be, being able to say you limit yourself to whatever title you have. But what I'm saying is, say Thaddeus wants control or he wants to
Yep.
get into, we just let Thaddeus into it? Or
I've had
how
s-
many people do we have to say is like on a committee or a review committee that says so-and-so has access?
Yep.
Dan has access,
I've had
Nathan has access.
similar concern with as simple as who has access to the auditor's office on weekends or during emergencies.
But it should be more than one person saying yes to allow these people. It should just be the
Sure.
auditor saying, so is that going to be set up?
That would have to be some type of internal controls that are set up by the administration, yes,
And so that is
absolutely.
in consideration.
I would hope that with the state of Ohio being here, they're going to put those internal controls in place.
Okay, but we hope, but we don't know.
No, I don't know, but
All right.
Mr. Ralph Smith.
I was just going to address that issue. That's the same thing that I was mentioning before, the controls of who has access to the system, what level of access they have. Every organization that I belong to, information systems, finance, or whatever it is, they have department heads. Those department heads determine what level of access their employees need. They submit that to the IT department. The IT department then goes ahead and institutes that level of permission for that individual. That's kind of what I'm hoping happens here. And it's going to have to happen, within our departments, through IT and into software solutions and Right Stuff.
Ms. Triana.
Yeah, the department heads do not determine the level that an employee has, or an access level that an employee has. They do not do that.
I can't hear.
She's saying department heads do not determine who has access.
Okay.
And I think just to clarify here, I think what we're trying to do is clean up the wreckage of our past and mistakes that have been made in years past. And that's why if we go to a new system, and I appreciate the comments that, and I believe the mayor and the administration and everybody involved wants these internal controls in place so we don't have to relive what we're about to dig into to figure out what went wrong. Am I clear in clarifying that? Does that sound okay?
Both of our recovery plans had financial policies.
Yes.
as part of the financial recovery plan was to implement financial policy and practices. And now those are going to be guided by the state to implement for us and tell us what we should be doing. And I'm sure that when we work with software solutions, that'll all be part of the building process. Who has the ability to add somebody and how much can they add? So we'll decide those along with the state on how we're going to do that.
Yes, Mayor.
Ms. Mayor?
Kimberly Mayor. To his point, I think they're trying to say like, most jobs, when you have, they're like, you get control of this stuff. You know, if you're like a cashier, you don't get a control of buying the inventory, right? So they're trying to talk about not mixing departments, and even if you're all in the financial, you need to have a person that's in control of something and saying who all has access. Everybody should not get access, is what I think you're saying.
I think that's what we're all saying.
Yeah, well, so, why, that's why we're over here like, because we're over here going, well, why is the box people over here going, no, that's not right? Because that's what we're seeing back here. We're like, no, that's not what we're doing.
Because there was a misstatement. Mr. Smith thought that the department heads allowed who granted access, and that's not the process we use. That may have been the process before anybody was sitting here, but we don't do that. Am I correct?
Right. But why, I guess that's where I'm a little confused. I mean, we don't necessarily have to have a department head if everybody's got their job title. But we just don't want all the hands in the pot. That's the problem. Everybody shouldn't get access to the codes. You know, I shouldn't be able to go out like, hey, oh, it's X261, you know, because they were trying. I've been at places where they log in under other people. And I think that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, password sharing has happened in our history as well.
And that's what I'm talking about.
We're all saying the same thing, Miss Mayor. We really are. Even Miss Craig's nodding back here. We're all saying the same thing.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Voice of reason.
Yes, sir, please.
Talking about our money.
Yeah, I get it, I get it. That's why we're wanting to make this huge investment and change. And actually, in the long run, it's gonna save us money and figure out where some of that went. So I understand your frustration, but that wasn't this council, that wasn't this administration, that wasn't this auditor, that wasn't this treasurer. We are trying to do the things we're trying to do. Mr. Cooper, one more time and you're out of here, man. Please hold it down. Don't be disruptive. We're having a good conversation here. Thank you.
Well, thanks for singling me out there, Brian. There's multiple people talking.
You have to go, Mr. Cooper, sorry.
I'll be back next week.
All right. And you can stay as long as you want if you come to the podium to speak, but please don't be disruptive. Yes, sir.
Derek Shaw, Chrysler Software. Just one of the benefits of going to a timekeeping system like that we offer is the checks and balances. So with our system, the employee will be entering their time. They'll see their total pay for the week period before it even gets to anyone else. Their direct supervisor then reviews it, electronically signs off to it. The department head then reviews that information and directly signs off to it. Then it goes to the auditor's office to run reports and sign off for it. So that process of not only do they, multiple people are, through the process of signing off onto it, what's nice is the employees actually see how much, their gross pay before they even submit it. So there's a lot of mistakes that are also caught early on in the process. And when you catch those mistakes early on in the process, it's a lot cheaper than catching it after the fact. So there's, in a system like this, and, in the timekeeping portion of this, with the commissions, there's all kinds of audit trails that you can, anytime see who's given what commissions, who's even looked at what information, who's signed off on that. So, a robust system like this is, designed for this type of environment. To be able to answer the questions when there is a public records request. So that it's there instead of just, hey, we don't have information. So that was just my point.
All right, thank you.
Wishes of council?
Wishes of council? Mr. Rollins?
Yeah, again, I think it's critical that we move this forward, especially given the the fact that the state is going to be here for the next 2 years, and they're able to assist us in this process. So with that, I will make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Mr. Clark?
Second.
We have a first and a second. You take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
No.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
7-1 passes.
Mr. Clark?
Motion to adopt.
Mr. Rollins?
Second?
You'll take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Ordinance passes. Item 9, Resolution 2026-023, State Homeland Security Grant Fund. Clerk, will you read?
A resolution establishing a state homeland security program, SHSP fund, for the receipt of expenditures of state homeland security program grant funds.
Mr. Rollins?
Yeah, this came out of finance with the 3-0 recommendation to approve, and I will turn this over to Zoe for additional information.
The fire department was awarded a grant for just under $18,000 with no match for new hazmat suits. It's a federal grant, so it requires some extra things and a new fund to track it separately as well.
Ms. Brown, this is just separate. This is just creating a new line item to run this grant through to get new hazmat
So this
suits.
grant, these funds from this grant will be the only thing that goes into it.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Rollins.
Yeah, unless there's questions, I will make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Mr. Stevenson?
I just wanted to point on my paperwork here, under the first whereas, we have hazmat suites instead of hazmat suits.
It's a typo. I don't think there needs to be a clarification on that. Okay. Mr. Clark?
I'll second the motion.
We have a first and a second to suspend the 3 readings. Clerk, will you take roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Dichtel? Sorry, I've been trying all night not to do that. Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Motion to approve?
Mr. T. Smith?
So moved. Second.
Have a second. We have a first and a second. Any other discussion? If you'll take roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Item 10, veto ordinance. Clerk, will you read?
I don't really have to, that's just for you guys to discuss.
Yeah,
Mr. Rollins?
I'm not 100% sure why this is an agenda item, but I will,
Yeah.
I would like to move to reconsider ordinance 2026-73.
Is that,
This would be a motion to reconsider that ordinance.
So just for an explanation of those following along, there are 2 motions. Mr. Rollins has made the first. That is, shall the council reconsider the ordinance? That is voted upon, a simple majority, then takes it to the next motion. There would be a second motion if that one passes, and that would be to adopt the ordinance. It requires 6 votes in the affirmative to adopt the ordinance without the mayor's signature.
Mr. T. Smith?
I will second the motion on the floor.
Clerk, will you take roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. Larkin?
Yes.
Mr. R. Smith?
No.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
No.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
6 yeses.
Mr. Rollins?
I will make a motion that we approve ordinance 2026-73.
Just for clarification, Mr. Russell, is that don't we have to do this in an affirmative So is this a motion to override the mayor's veto?
So actually, the rule provides that Mr. Rollins has actually made the proper motion, which is to simply move to adopt the ordinance. If it receives a second, then there is a vote taken, and it takes 6 to override the mayor's veto.
Okay. Mr. T. Smith?
Second.
We have a first and a second.
Any discussion?
Any discussion? Mr. Kreider?
Yes. With regard to this, since we had the last meeting when that was approved by council, just some developments that have happened. Interestingly enough, Flock came out that following Friday and actually reduced those, proposed to reduce those times for the controls for the data retention down to 7 days, offering more audit assistance and so forth. By the same token, there is a bill in the State House that's reduced that, proposed to reduce that to 10 days, okay? So I'm just not comfortable still with the affiliation, honestly, with how this is inextricably linked to AI and data centers. I just really am not comfortable with that. So I'm going to vote in the affirmative to uphold that vote.
Mr. Rollins?
I just want to add, and hopefully the rest of council can attest as well. As an at-large council member, I received numerous emails on this topic over the last week, and I would say the overwhelming majority were in favor of the legislation that we've presented. There certainly wasn't a 9-to-1 in favor of flock camera. I did not see that in my emails. Probably quite the opposite. So, that is why I moved to continue to push forward this legislation. I think it's important. I think our citizens have spoken up, and again, I hope the rest of council had an opportunity to review those emails.
Mr. Stevenson?
Following Roland's explanation there, I tallied up all of the communications that I was presented with, which includes members of the city outside of my ward, with a 25 against the flock cameras to a 7 to keep. So just about a 3-to-1 against the flock cameras.
And your sample size was 32?
Yes.
Mr. Ralph Smith?
Yeah, as I've said during my whole tenure as a council person, the only way that we can do what we have to do is if you people let us know. And I've said that many, many times. And so over the past couple of weeks, I have talked to 42 people in 3rd Ward, because those are the people I have to represent. You have 3 people down at the end of the table, they represent the whole city. I represent the 3rd Ward, 2nd Ward, 4th Ward, and so those are the people we have to take care of. I've talked to 42 people, either by phone, by email, or in person. And out of those 42 people, 14 have said, get rid of flock. 28 have said, keep them. So I'm going to have to vote.
Anyone else from council? From the audience? Yeah, Mr. Smith. T.
Yeah,
Smith.
the same as last time we discussed this. My mind has not changed. I seriously see a threat nationally with these things. I think that there's security risk to America. I've put it out there. This is not communist China, and we need to get rid of them immediately. I've spoken to more people this week, email-wise, than I probably have since I've been on council. And everybody wants them gone, so I will be voting to support this.
From the audience, yes. Yes, Mr. Mayor, or administration.
I'd like to address the public tonight and council and let them know what went into the decision to veto this legislation, which is the first legislation that I've even considered that on. And as they said, and as I said before, to me, it's almost 9-1. And I stand by that, even though people say, you know, that's not very scientific. Okay, so my email got put out there. I got a total of about 27 emails. Of that 27, 21 were no's to get rid of flock. 172 were yeses to keep flock. And to be transparent with that, one of those.
I think you misread the original number, the total.
Your numbers ain't adding up. I'm trying to finish.
Okay.
So to be transparent with that, one of those emails was from the local FOP lodge that represents 160 members, saying to keep flock. Of the phone calls and texts I got, there was about.
Let's hold it down in the audience, please.
There was about 17 texts or emails where people actually called my cell phone. And again, this isn't scientific. I talked to one guy for 15 minutes and finally asked him what part of the city he lived in. He said Angola, Indiana. So I'm not sure why he called me about flock and you know, when he's from Angola, Indiana. So I'm just saying that you can't, and it was like 9 to keep flock, 7 to get rid of flock. When I'm out in public, just like I was the third Thursday the other night, I didn't have one person come up to me and say, keep flock. But I had a lot of people come up to me. I didn't have one person come up to me and say, get rid of flock. But I had a lot of people come up to me and say, keep flock. Thank you for vetoing that legislation. And I ran on the fact that I'm pro-law enforcement. I'm a tough on crime guy. I'm a former police chief, 38 years in law enforcement, so that just makes sense. And I have the floor. So I have example after example that I could read, but I want to read one. And it says on July 2025, an 11-year-old autistic child was taken from his home within the city of Marion. The child was lured from his home by a 47-year-old predator while playing online video games. The flock camera at the intersection of Davids and Bell Fountain captured photographs of the suspect's vehicle coming to and leaving Marion. The flock system and its sharing capabilities allowed law enforcement to document the suspect's vehicle travel to and from his home in Petersburg, Indiana. This showed law enforcement officers the suspect had not taken the child anywhere else but back to his house. It confirmed that after collecting the child, the suspect took him directly to Petersburg, and this allowed law enforcement to act quickly, forcing entry into the suspect's home and finding the child locked in a closet. I will tell you that all cases do not end there. Without that ability to act quickly and follow that suspect all the way back to Indiana, the parents didn't even know until they got up in the morning the kid was gone. So we were already behind the ball, law enforcement was, trying to find and would never have been able to find this kid. And I've been on cases like that, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, where the outcome is much different, that they don't get there quick enough. So while we're having this financial emergency in the city of Marion, and we're down 10 police officers right now, it just makes sense. It's, you know, a lot of prayer went into this too, thinking about what do I do a month from now if I didn't veto that legislation and we have just that example happen and we don't have the capability to recover that child that quickly. I don't think I could live with myself at that point. I don't think there's any other decision I could have came up with the way the vote went that night. There really was no room for negotiation as far as you know, if the police do this, I think we could have found some common ground that night. And I want to read on a whole nother front, but still related to this, I want to read one of the emails that I got that just came in today, and it hits home what a lot of people told me out in the public. It says, I also encourage our local leaders to make decisions based on opinions and experiences of the community, rather than allowing the loudest voices on social media to determine the outcome. Social media social media does not necessarily represent the majority of Marion residents. As a teacher and a mother within the community who does not involve herself in online politics, please continue to seek input from the actual residents who rely on our local law enforcement officers to keep our community safe. So I would say even if it's not just the 30 people in this room tonight that's against Flock, maybe they got 200. But there's 7,000 other people that voted in the last election that I would say are more in favor of keeping Flock than they are to get rid of it. So I make none of my decisions based on political. This isn't a Republican, Democrat thing. This is a safety thing for our community. And my job, as well as City Council's job, is to provide a safe community for our citizens. And that's what I feel that I did by making this decision. And I would make it again today if I had to.
Thank you. Public comment, I think we're gonna have
Yeah, the
plenty.
service director.
Oh, I have something from the administration here, service director.
I've been pretty silent through this whole discussion, listening to both sides, and I gotta believe that everybody in this room wants what's best for Marion. I believe that in my heart. But I gotta tell you, when the experts, and when I say experts, I mean the guys that are out there on the street, tell me this is the single best tool that they have for solving crime, it's a no-brainer. I don't know, I don't see the pluses that are proven with the one example that was given and plenty more that could be given, to potential minuses, possible misuse, but there's safeguards in place to keep that from happening. And that's all I got.
Thank you. See a lot of hands up. I think we're gonna limit comments to 2 minutes so we can get through them all, and so hopefully all of us can get home before 1 a.m.
Benjamin Franklin.
Miss Mayor? Can
I think
help?
she's recording. I don't think she has her hand up yet.
Okay. No, she yelled Benjamin Franklin. I was just trying to.
Sorry.
Don't be disruptive, please. Raise your hand if you want to speak. Yes, sir. In black, sure.
Michael Stone, Valentine Avenue. My biggest issue with this is we're talking about who voted this way, who wants this, who wants that. My issue is you're a lawman, sir, and the foundation of the law in the United States is the U.S. Constitution. And according to the Fourth Amendment of said United States Constitution, we are all free from illegal search and seizure. And in order to be tracking us around like we're a bunch of criminals, you have to name what you're looking for and where you're looking for it. So as far as I'm concerned, you will never see my vote, sir, because you've proven that you don't understand the foundations of our law. And as Ms. Mayor, I'm sure was alluding to, Benjamin Franklin said that if you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of temporary security or safety security for safety, you deserve neither. So I don't believe that everybody in Marion is a suspect. I believe we're citizens instead. And these things treat us all as if we're suspects and not citizens. That's not right.
Could I ask you a follow-up question?
Yes, sir.
So we talk about the constitutionality. Where have you seen that any court has deemed block cameras unconstitutional?
Hasn't made it there yet. But excuse
Where
me,
have you
but
seen
the Supreme Court just
The
said.
Supreme Court has
the
not.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me show you where, we already know it's getting there. Because the Supreme Court has already said that they can't track all of your information from your cell phone
Right.
and keep it. And this is the same dang thing. Except I can't leave my car at home because I gotta go to work. I gotta go to school, I gotta go to wherever. Your prayers about your theory that everybody's gonna do the right thing, we know is BS. We've seen how many people have access to these things, which is national. Toledo's records just showed that Houston, Texas Police Department accessed their records 3,000 times.
Brown.
So where's the security? Hundreds of police are on record stalking their girlfriends or ex-wives or whatever. So this is not the way. Pre-crime is not the way. We're all innocent
You
until...
have 15 seconds,
proven
Mr. Brown.
Stone.
Or Mr.
Sorry.
Stone, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Adam Lester, 232A. First point that I picked up on, I'm going to try not to get personal and political about this, sir. You said that when you're out Third Thursday, how many people approached you pro flock? What you just said, that you said that how many people approached you last week?
There was a lot of people that talked to me about flock life.
How many people approached you anti-flock?
None.
0. Now, what I noticed, I wasn't even keyed in paying attention, but when that lady talked earlier and you kind of stood up and kind of barked at her, you're a pretty intimidating person. You're the chief of police. You really think people are going to come up to you and approach you and say, hey, man, I want to talk crap to you about your stuff? So I don't think that's really a very good metric as to how many people support this, because I think people are afraid to approach you. And I never really noticed that before until you just barked at that lady a little while ago. And I don't know if she deserved it. I wasn't paying attention. I just remember that your attitude in a public forum like this wasn't very... But again, I'm not trying to attack you for that. I'm just pointing out why your story doesn't really make sense to me on that. That's what didn't prepare these words. So we're kind of making it as we go. Only other real quick question. How long do I have?
30 seconds.
That man that they found with the child in Indiana, how did they know to look for that man's license plate? Or did they scan every license plate that went by the camera? How did they narrow it down to him to know to track where he went?
I'm not that familiar with the
Okay.
investigation.
My assumption would be they probably already had him as a suspect. Otherwise, they would have just said, hey.
That's not correct.
But, well, so they didn't have him as a suspect. So,
They found him in the neighborhood where the child lived, the Indiana plate.
okay. How did they find that? How did they pick that one plate out of every plate that drove past that car? I was just curious about the background of that, because my first thought, he said, well, we wouldn't have found him so fast. Well, if they had this guy as a suspect that somehow knew him, where's the first place they're gonna go? Straight to the man's house. I just don't think that was a very good example.
They
but-
didn't have a suspect.
Well, then how
Until
did
they found the car on the flock camera.
So they just went through every car that drove through that neighborhood, and they searched every single innocent person?
That's exactly right.
Every single person that drove by that was a suspect in that
They
case?
checked the license plates.
Yes.
Found one out of Indiana.
Okay. So, again, so they
Your
investigated...
time's up, sir. I appreciate you, but I gotta keep it limited. Mr. Smith?
Yes, I was just going to say that I believe, unless I'm mistaken, that this happened at like 3:30 in the morning. There weren't a whole lot of cars passing the intersection.
That,
Doesn't matter.
my time's over, but thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. Right behind Mr. Daniels.
Hi, my name is Jessica, 1870 Slayer Drive.
What's your last name?
Getter. I want everybody to see my face. I have had a Fourth Amendment constitutional right violation out of Mount Gilead, Ohio. I was in my home baking cakes when somebody lied to police about me. They entered
was her
into my
address?
home without probable
She didn't really
cause
say.
and warrant, which led to me being arrested. This officer let the person who tried to murder me,
Ma'am, address the council, please.
this officer let the man who tried to murder me interrogate me. He participated. I am the face of what everybody's afraid of with these cameras. The police in that town, I had to leave that town because I could be stopped from one side of that town to the other
Could you stay at the podium, please?
by law enforcement. The mayor here says that he wants to do this because it protects children. It helped find a child. I have spoken to the law enforcement in this town, the sheriff, one of them who was on a case, because I knew somebody who had a similar situation to me without the violation, but where the police were weaponized against her. She was being held against her will, raped, for days. She went crazy through their newborn child. This man did not tell anybody. He had it on record. She ended up arrested, and yeah, she deserved that child endangerment charge. But we have a rapist walking our streets that will hold women against their will. So when he says that it's for the safety of the people, I don't
20
believe it.
seconds.
And I am the face of civil rights violations. Because once you give them an inch, they will take a mile. Because if they had flock cameras back in that time, God, they would have, they followed me everywhere. I didn't break laws. I don't drink.
I'm sorry, ma'am, your time limit's up. And I have a lot to get through. Back here in the corner.
Hello, Megan Midworth, Lane Avenue.
What was your name again?
Megan Midworth. I'm just here to make a statement. The mayor has supported flock cameras from the start, saying things like, if you're not doing anything wrong, you won't have anything to worry about. And board members saying there will always be misuse, but we need to trust that there won't be. And things like, this is just the way that things are trending. I've also heard the community opposed to the flock cameras, mainly because warrantless tracking does not belong in a free society. The trust you want from the community is clearly one-sided. Being back here again, after the community has voiced their opinions, and the city council has voted this down just to have the mayor veto it, is breaking that trust. And this is where we are trending. When does the definition of what's considered wrong change? You couldn't tell us the criteria to be put on a hot list. And we are currently living in a country that is arresting people for practicing their First Amendment rights. We are living in a country that has concentration camps, in a country that they are tracking people 24/7.
15 seconds.
This is the way we are trending. Democracy and freedom are dying, and you can decide to keep trending that way or stand up for our Fourth Amendment rights. Thank you.
Bill Brown Jr., Rochelle Drive. My question is for Ralph Smith. I live in your ward.
Yes, sir.
Okay? You said you talked to 47 people.
42,
Okay? How many people live in that ward?
all of them. That's the only, I only kept
How
track
many
of.
people live in that ward?
Oh,
Thousands.
yeah, there's thousands.
But you only talked to 40-some.
I can't talk to somebody unless they want to be talked to.
I didn't see you come down my street.
No,
But you
I
came
didn't go
knocked
door
on
to
my
door.
door when you was wanting to run for council.
Right, I did not go door to door. I called some people that I had their numbers.
Well, I think the best thing to do is go talk to people face to face. That's being an adult. That's being, being responsible.
I talked to
okay?
several people face to face.
I have mixed feelings on these block cameras. But I'm glad that we caught that person with that little kid, okay? I believe in our police department that they're not gonna misuse it to start tracking people and everything, okay? I really don't. And if they do, I hope they go to prison. Just simple as that. No questions, you're done. You go to prison, because we're seeing it on social media and everything, California, Texas, so on. These cops, like the people back here have spoken, police officers are misusing it to track down their ex-girlfriend, ex-wife and stuff and running them down. I hope this city doesn't have that.
Thank
I
you.
agree with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Kelsey Better, 754 Church Street. First of all, I want to thank the mayor and chief of police for doing what they did with the flock cameras. I've also got cameras up around my house. Don't tell me to take my cameras down because I don't feel safe. We're down 10 cops. If people don't get a grip and get it correct, Marion is going to hell. Exactly where it's going. That's all I got to say about it.
Thank you.
I stand for the mayor.
Thank you. Back here with your hand up.
I didn't have a prepared speech this time. Ashton Seals.
Thank you, Mr. Sales.
1923 Road. So, I'm sure all of you are familiar with 1984 by George Orwell. This is the exact thing it was pointing about. Start to finish. So if you haven't read it, I highly suggest it because this is the first baby step to full-on surveillance. The end. And if you really want to speak for the people, vote this out.
Thank you. Take one from the other side, and then I'll take you, Miss Craig, okay? Yes, sir.
Jim Bauer, Marina Drive. I have the greatest respect in the world for law enforcement, as long as they don't root for Michigan. However, our phones, our iPads, our laptops, our computers, they're all collecting our information and they're selling it. Alexis is listening in our homes to what's going on. I think Flock is the tipping point. All over the country, regardless of your political affiliations, people are opposing it. It's like the last straw. Also, they're being damaged all over the country now. They're being vandalized. Will our cameras be vandalized? More trouble there. There's no emergency here. We can wait a year. There's no emergency for this. Let's see what the rest of the country, how they handle this. Because we've gone too far already with our IT. And as far as protecting that information, they're hacking into the Pentagon. So, you know, don't tell me about the safeguards, okay? Like I say, let's wait a year. There's no emergency. We could revisit at that point.
Yeah, thank you. Miss Craig.
Hey, I'm Craig, Silver Street. I just want to say, give a shout out to the vocal minority for showing up and for sending the emails and for making the phone calls. For weeks, those of us that have raised concerns about Flock have been called the minority. We've been called conspiracy theorists. We've been called anti-police. We've been called propagandists, and we've been called flat out wrong. None of those things have served any of you well in what has essentially been a campaign of just trust us. Because from the beginning, the argument for Flock has been essentially, trust us. Trust the police to use it appropriately. Trust that access will be limited. Trust that data will be protected. Trust that safeguards are sufficient. Trust that misuse won't happen here. But when the members of the public started asking questions about those very things, the response was, those aren't legitimate concerns, or I'm sorry, you didn't tell us that those were legitimate concerns, and you wanted to address them. Instead, we were dismissed. Meanwhile, the conversation has already been discussed tonight. Outside Marion has changed. Just since you've started having this conversation, the state and federal government are looking at putting limitations on it. There's bills right now in Congress, we know how that works, to ban the federal government from engaging in business with Flock. The state government is looking at doing the same thing. Flock themselves are now acknowledging their own shortcomings with their software, including the fallibility of the humans accessing the massive network they've built. And even the National Fraternal Order of Police is raising concerns about privacy. They released a statement. I'm not making this up. They released a statement. Raising concerns about privacy, data sharing, retention, safeguards, oversight, and accountability.
30 seconds.
But we have our own FOP telling us, trust them. Some of the things the people in Marion were dismissed for worrying about weren't hypothetical. And yet the answer here still seems to be trust us. But trust works both ways. If you want the public to trust its government, then the public has to be able to trust what the government tells them. Which brings me to our 9-to-1 claim. He continues to say people support it 9-to-1. It's not a scientific poll, he already admitted it. People are coming up to him on the street talking about it. You can't simultaneously ask people to trust you with a surveillance system capable of tracking the movements of thousands of people and then expect them not to ask you how you arrived at a statistic you're using to characterize public opinions. And tonight makes that question even more important.
That's your time, Ms. Clerk.
Thank you for everyone who showed up.
Thank you. Mr. Davis.
Brandon Davis, live at 165 Lauderdale. I'm not for the flock cameras, and the reason is just because they're misused. I mean, one of the police officers is in trouble for rape right now, from the Marion City Police that we're supposed to trust. If it's the people's city, the mayor shouldn't have the veto power to take what the city had already decided on. And if so, I believe that we should actually take a formal vote and send it and let everybody come up and vote on it to see if that's what they actually want. Not what just the police department wants and his friends and family.
I think there's routes you can take to put it on the ballot, right?
Yeah, before it's too late. I'd just like to know that the people actually is the ones that want, not just off of the internet, off of 14 votes or 42 this guy had or whoever that's following him that agrees with him. It should be what the people actually want. If they want the flock cameras, scared. And if they want it, then so be it. But if not, I don't think that he should hold the power to give us what he wants, not what the people want.
Thank you. Mr. Daniels?
608 Decatur Street. Well,
You have 2 minutes, Mr. Daniels.
yeah, 2 minutes, yes. I guess most people fail to take into account that this block camera system isn't city. I know I vetoed on it, but it's county. Now, you could vote against it, but the sheriff could ignore it, or he could remove the cameras from the city and place them all around the city of Marion. He'd still get pretty much what he wants for the most part. But, I mean, there would be absolutely nothing that the council or the city could do. There's absolutely nothing you could do if he decided to do that. He'd still have his cameras and they'd still be tracking people coming in and out of town, especially Whirlpool. They also failed to take into account that we still have a criminal element here. And a serious one. People trying to move in here, especially from other states. We're not even talking about Columbus anymore. We're talking about people from New York, from Illinois, a handful from Indiana. I sometimes keep track of plates. They're here. I don't know why they're here, but they are. So, and some of them sit there and bring in drugs and other things, and some people are probably just here to work.
30 seconds, Mr. Daniels.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Oh, okay. So I don't know one way or another. I mean, you know, whether to support his veto or not, but it's like, you know, I mean, he has the same veto powers as the President of the United States would have, only on the local level. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Lubke?
Teresa Lefke, 555 Normandy Drive. I see arguments on both sides of this, and I understand the concerns about the privacy and the control that FLOC has in that data sharing. What my biggest concern is the process that this went through, especially that it didn't get 3 readings. Mr. Smith said he looked forward to hearing from people through three readings, yet you guys suspended the rules and moved it forward after it had been amended, without citizens, without the administration, without the law director, without council having a chance to study the legislation with those amendments. So I want to remind you guys that there's a middle ground. It doesn't have to be black or white. If you let the veto stand, that allows you to start over and write legislation that puts parameters on it, that limits it, that puts a citizens audit council, that requires police to give more than a typed up report that doesn't really have meaning because you don't know did that really come from FLOC or not. So again, a reminder, this doesn't have to be binary. This doesn't have to be, it's all yes or no, it ends tonight. So I encourage you, let the veto stand and let's write the best piece of legislation for Marion.
Thank you. Mr. Rollins?
We've heard a lot of talk about the audit process, and I've done a lot of reading up on the audit process. And one of the problems with the audit process when it comes to FLOC, if you look at the case in Florida with the officer who used FLOC to stalk his girlfriend 713 times, he used all the proper keywords. He knew what he was doing. He was smart. He was savvy. That's how he was able to stalk her 713 times, because he was able to use those keywords to get around the audits. Look into it. The audits don't work. That's a problem. When we talk about people's privacy, that's a concern. When we talk about just trust us, 713 times he used the system to stalk an ex-girlfriend. 713 that the audit didn't find. That's a huge problem. That is a gaping hole. That's not, well, we've got some software glitches. No, that's a gaping hole in the audit process. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Mr. Rollins, I will say that Flock has instrumented where they're red flagging multiple uses of case numbers and sending it to admin. So
After the fact.
that's better than not at all.
After the fact.
Yeah.
But trust us,
I'm just
right?
saying. I'm just saying.
One hand left of two now.
Mr. Townsend.
Philip Townsend, 3634 Harding Highway West, 992 Jamaica.
Mr. Townsend, where do you reside?
992 Jamaica, 3634 Harding Highway West,
Which one do you reside at? What's your voting address?
3634 Harding Highway West.
So I think we gotta take a vote to let you speak.
It's up to your discretion.
Oh, no.
Yeah, council has to vote.
Okay, thank you. So I can't talk?
No, sir.
All right, great.
What did you want to say, though?
Next person. I'd love to hear Mr. Clark's reason for changing his vote. You emailed it to us the last time, and I.
That's enough, Mr. Townsend.
Change what?
Are you a city resident either?
No, I'm not.
You don't speak any, I want to hear from city residents, so in the interest of time and getting to this vote, I want to hear from city residents. Mr. Dunson. I'm gonna start Christian, I'm gonna start your clock early the way you get up here.
You gotta do what you gotta do. I'm on the clock for a minute.
2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Huh?
That's a long time. So, Mr. Clark, we know why Mr. Smith is voting the way he's voting. He talked to 42 constituents, and they've advised him to please vote in favor of upholding the mayor's veto. How many people have you spoken to, sir?
I've physically spoken to about 50 people. I've received, I think this week I've received 12 emails, 3 of which were for keeping the flock cameras. The 9 were to get rid of the flock cameras.
Okay.
The people that I spoke to verbally, it's about 50-50. I live in the 6th ward, and I walk my dog, and that's where I talk to most of the people. And like I said, it's about a 50-50 split in what it is.
Thank you.
Sure.
That's all.
Any other city residents have anything to say? Yes, ma'am.
Christy Stone, Valentine Avenue. I am not in favor of flock. I don't think that saving one little girl and hurting how many other women or children is plausible. They're pointed at pools, they're pointed at private walking areas, they're pointed in places they should not be. And those who say you're not doing anything wrong, if it's okay if you're not doing anything wrong, how many of you would have been arrested for not wearing a mask? Today it's just this. What are they gonna do tomorrow? How many of you did not wear a mask when it was mandatory? You guys don't think you're looking at it one way to save one child? They're doing so much more damage than just hurting one child. I mean, saving one child. There's so much more damage. And this is only the beginning What are they gonna do in a month or a year? You know, they're policing us. It's all, they want a police state. They wanna know everything we're doing. Why? That's ridiculous and pretty sick, if you ask me, but that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Mayor?
Brother Marion, I think the people have spoken. I think the people have spoken. There's too much information showing that, and there's a whole lot of, there's almost thousands of people in each one of y'all's districts. I know you maybe talk to 50 or 100 or whatever, but there's hundreds, if not thousands, in each one of your districts. I've done what I could trying to get the people to speak up. Most people don't want to speak up. They just want to do it privately. You know, those are the type of people that I'm like, oh, you didn't vote? Then I don't want to hear your opinion, right? But you can't get them all here. You're never going to get them all here. They're never going to come. I need you guys to realize this is about safety measures. Ridiculous, like our Constitution, if we don't stand firm and fight for it, it's gonna go gone. It's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone. We have to fight for the damn Constitution.
Wishes of council.
I do have a motion and a second.
We have a motion and a second.
A motion by Mr. Rollins, second by Mr. T. Smith.
Clerk, will you take roll?
Mr. Barr?
No.
Ms. Larkin?
No.
Mr. R. Smith?
No.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. T. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
No.
Mr. Kreider?
Yes.
Mr. Rollins?
Yes.
4-4.
4-4. I think that's indicative of what a split issue this is. Matters not on the agenda.
You've got one right on there on top.
We have the resignation of 6th Ward Council Member Bill Dichtel. Anybody residing in the 6th Ward that wants to send a resume in, please do so. Send it to the clerk of council.
What's the process we're going to use for that? Or do you want me to explain it?
Yeah, go ahead and explain that.
I've been asked to explain the process for the replacement of the 6th Ward City Councilman. Marion County Board of Elections announced that City Council would be responsible for filling that vacancy since the individual was not selected in a primary. We will accept resumes until September 1st. On September 8th, President Pro Tem Barr will call a committee of the whole for the council to interview candidates and address questions. And then on the, I lost my calendar, 14th of September, council will vote to replace that position.
Everybody get that, or does he got to repeat it for the disruption in the mass exodus? You didn't hear it?
No, I need to hear it.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, come on, I got a big mouth and I know it.
Speak up, Matt. Mr. Pollock.
After consultation with the law director and the president pro tem of council, Marion City Council will be accepting resumes for the vacancy in the 6th Ward City Council. Marion County Board of Elections has notified us that we are responsible for filling that vacancy. On September 8th, at our next set of committee meetings, President Pro Tem Barr will call a committee of the whole to interview candidates and answer and ask questions of them. And on the 14th of September, council will vote to fill that vacancy. If you know somebody in the 6th Ward who would like to apply, please have them send me a resume by mail, in person, or email, carrier pigeon, I don't care, as long as it gets here.
Ms. Lupke.
Teresa Lepke, 555 Normandy Drive. Other than being probably 18, living in the 6th Ward, are there other requirements in order to be considered?
That's under review right now. Ms. Lupke, I know what you're asking. As soon as I know, I'll reach out to you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rollins?
I yield the floor.
Yes, sir.
Adam Lester, 32 You know what, this is a question better asked off the break. It's more about what the position would entail, and that's not such a...
Abuse.
I'll send an email or something for,
Ms. Dyer.
Anyone else on council with the
Patience.
administration? That's for you.
Tara Dyer, and I don't think I want to state my address either, so this position has been like a revolving door, right? And the positions on city council, and it's just been awful. And I know one of the things that we are striving to do is get some kind of continuity so that our money is not funny anymore, so that we can get some legislation that's great for the city and so on and so forth. Just a couple of things from me. I don't live in the 6th Ward, but I know a lot of people who do, so you won't be getting my resume. But since the decision is yours, and we all know where your political affiliation is, I'm worried. I'm really worried.
Ms. Dyer, the last vote didn't dictate where political affiliation was.
No, so.
Mr. Townsend, stop or I'm gonna have you escorted out also.
Anyways, I'm just here to say that a bipartisan government works amazingly well. And when we have diversity of thought, especially political thought, there's a lot of things that we can do in this community. So as you are contemplating these plethora of resumes that will come in from the 6th, I would suggest that you don't look at party affiliation, but look at how amazing certain people are in that district and the help they will be to you guys on this council. I'm pretty sure there's someone out there, so.
Thank you, Ms. Dyer. Mr. Smith.
I would like to say that, and I agree with Ms. Dyer, that bipartisan works well. It can work well. Sometimes if you have too many of one party, they don't get along either. So I'm not really sure how much of a party matters, but in this particular case, it does, because there is a council rule that was created in 1968 by ordinance, and it says that a person being placed on city council or appointed to city council must be replaced by a person of the same party.
Is that why the Board of Elections said that? Didn't say that?
The Board of Elections doesn't have anything to do with city council rules.
Sir, Mr. Sills, if you got something to say, raise your hand and I'll have you come to the podium. But let Mr. Smith finish what he was saying, okay? As you're walking to the podium.
Ordinance 1968-049, which was passed in, I forget what the exact date is, states that, and this was done, I'm sure, for both parties.
I read the letter.
Both parties.
I've read the letter.
Have you read the ordinance?
I've read the ordinance.
Okay, good.
I've also read the reply from Board of Elections that put out maybe not even a week ago on Facebook, who is a nonpartisan organization, that this is a nonpartisan position because the person who sat in it was not elected.
And did not
No,
primary.
that's not true.
Primary.
That's not true. That has to do with who replaces either the Republican Party or council. Since he was not elected in a primary, council has that responsibility, not the Republican Party.
Exactly.
But the
So
rule,
why does it need to be the same party?
the rule of
Board of
council
Elections is
says
saying
it has to
does
be.
not need to be a party.
The rule of council says.
Hold on a second here, everybody here. I think that's what Ms. Lupke was getting at. there are some questions, there's some follow-up and some research that's being done. I said, anybody send a resume in, we'll determine the correct ruling on what we can do
I'm
that.
hearing one of our councilmen right now say that you are not going to pick anybody but a Republican.
I just gavelled him down too, Mr. Seals. Okay? Send your resumes in, let's let the law directors and those that do this inform us of what the rule is. And then we'll have everybody's resume to choose from then. If we gotta separate them out, we gotta separate them out. I don't know. Thank you. Can we move on to committee assignments? No objections? Thank you. If you will.
Can I ask a question? It's about a committee.
Ms. Craig,
Hey, I'm Craig, and I ain't giving my address either, because everybody knows it.
we know it.
I got some nice cactus in front of my house. So before you do committee assignments, can we please talk about Silver Street? That's all I wanted to ask. Can we have a traffic safety commission, whatever? Can we put that? I know we
Put
don't.
traffic commission on them?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know we don't always call that, so I wanted to make sure before you started handing out committees that we could talk about that.
Yep, actually, there's some other things I was planning on calling that
It
as
was
well.
gonna be called, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have that changed on here, so.
Do I call them out, or do you?
You do.
Airports, lands, and buildings, Mr. Clark.
Nothing at this time.
Information systems, Mr. Smith.
I hope to have some new business on the 8th, so 6:30.
6:30. Mr. Rollins, jobs and economic development.
Nothing at this time.
Legislation and codes.
Nothing at this time.
There may be. I need to determine where it's gonna go, but we're not done with the flock discussion. I think there's some amendments that need to be made to 2023-033 to put tighter controls and parameters on to try to get some sense of comfortability, but I'm not sure if that should go through legislation and codes or municipal services.
Codes.
Legislation and codes.
6:35.
Yep, and I'll have that ready for you. Right, Mr. Russell? Thank you. That is Mr. Smith, Municipal Services, Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, we'll do 6:35, have a transit.
6:40.
6:40.
6:40.
6:40, transit policy update.
Awesome. Mr. Stevenson, Public Utilities,
Nothing at this time, as far as I'm aware.
Regional Planning, Mrs. Larkin.
Wednesday, across the street, and then the next one after that is September 23rd.
Streets and Sewers, nothing at this time. Mr. Stevenson, Traffic Commission.
Yes, I believe we have some of the traffic study results, so we'll take 6:45.
Okay. Mr. Kreider, Zoning and Annexation.
Yes, we've got the annexation on property of Marion Maryville Road,
That's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, yep.
Okay, Mr. Rollins.
7 o'clock.
Finance.
7:05, we're old business, audit, new business, all of it.
Okay. Mr. Kreider.
The 8th is on a Tuesday because of the holiday.
Thank you
I
for
was
saying.
I was gonna make that
Okay.
announcement.
All right.
It's kind of a double announcement. There are no meetings next Monday because it's the 5th Monday. And due to the Labor Day holiday, the next committee meetings will be on the 8th of September.
Public comments. Seeing none? Mr. Daniels.
I brought up the part where the drunken driver, like 2 weeks ago, almost took Fred's out over on Silver Street. They took their barn out instead. Come to find out that he had no insurance. And the car that he borrowed from, which was his dad's, also had no insurance. It seems like we have an uptick in drunken drivers lately, like that one that killed that boy over there on Likens. I think there need to be stronger penalties. When you get behind the wheel of a car and you're drunk, you know you could probably kill somebody, likely hell, or do property damage, or get home. But you also might sit there and take somebody out. I think that situations like that ought to be upgraded to murder, because you know what you're doing, even though you're inebriated. you still know what you're doing. I think there should be an ordinance of some sort to increase the penalties, especially for property damage for people that don't have insurance. But that's just my 2 cents.
I don't know if that's possible.
That's all.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's state law. Okay, seeing none, hearing none, we're adjourned at 9:04.
Lonnie, probably if they don't have insurance, if they can't afford the insurance, they don't have anything, so you're gonna sue them for what are you gonna get from it? Right.